Welcome, it's About Town Deb with City Talk, and as you can see, we have a handsome gentleman, personal chef, Jonathan Chapin on set today.
I know, I'm excited to be here.
So we decided that we were just gonna bring him on from the first moment of the show. So he went from being the guest to being the co-host and the guest and the miracle man and the guy around town who does everything. But today, I'm gonna let him be kind of in charge, a little bit in charge. A little bit, because he did say to me, he said, well, can we just oh, there it is. So we this is actually kind of cool. This is good.
Nationwide, it's going off.
But we want you to know that we knew this could happen. We didn't know if it would really go off like this.
Yeah, I was kind of up in the air for if it's really going to happen.
We want you to know, though, when you see this, it's going to be like 2 weeks after. So don't panic again. Yeah, we're all fine.
We're coming back.
We're coming back.
We're coming back.
Are we here? Everything's okay?
Can you breathe? Here's my favorite thing so far.
What?
Because I do a lot of TV stuff and I do a lot of interviews and all that kind of jazz. But I never get the click.
I love the click.
We got
okay,
click.
Hold on. Here's what you have. Okay, you ready? Can you move your coffee cup just a little bit? Jonathan, he has this thing on Colo News. Okay, now just hold on. He does this. Okay, do it again. Wait, do it again. Now, Katie.
Had a busy weekend.
I've been watching Katie, and she's getting a lot better from the beginning.
Geez.
Is that it? There. So there you go. I just thought, cheers. Sorry, guys. We're just keeping it real. And we are cheersing with a new coffee for me. Have you been to any of the coffee bars? There's quite a few in town.
I have. However, I have not had
this,
and I really like it.
This is
and
actually
that's not a lie. I like it.
Trailhead, and look it's instant.
Yeah.
So I told them that I was going to have it on set today. So let's do it.
Just so that people know watching.
Here we go.
I asked if I don't like it, can I be honest?
And what did I say?
And you're like 100% honest.
I said that.
And I like it.
Isn't it good?
That's probably one of the better instant coffees I've had.
And Jazzy Georgia, when she walked by, she goes, it actually smells like coffee. Anyway, so I just want to give a shout out.
The coffee smells like coffee.
Well, you know what I mean?
No, I know.
It's the real deal. So as my kids would say, it's the real deal. It's good. Trailhead, I'm just really excited that Coffee Bar, they are growing like crazy.
Yeah,
and they have a new one. Well, it's been probably over a year. It could be. I'm really bad at time over on South McCarran.
Me too. And I'm still like, when did they get rid of Seinfeld?
Oh, I don't know. When? I don't know. I totally get it. So I'm very excited, though, today. I mentioned personal chef. You're on Colo News. You have your own Reno Recipes show Sunday nights. And I was actually on towards the beginning, like very beginning.
When it was still
before
in my
you
house.
were on Colo.
Yeah.
I was there through the beginning, just so you know.
What did we make?
I don't know.
I feel
was
like
chopping.
It was a fish dish.
I don't. Maybe there was some. Maybe some scallops were involved.
I think that was.
I don't know, but it was really good. We had a lot of fun. And normally, I'm going to let you take charge because what do they usually ask me on my show?
Well, okay, let's ask about you. Let's go on you because if we're going to co-host this, I'm going to interview you a little bit, right? That seems right. So. Let's talk about community involvement.
Oh, we're just going to start off with that.
Yeah.
Well, as you know, that is totally, totally important to me, which you did not know I was going to bring this. I normally don't do this, so I am. This is Chips for Kids. Have you been to the Shanty Dolan's new tavern? I mean, you know of it.
I know of it.
You know of it.
Yeah.
In recovery, but I'm
not that guy. I'm like, if
not
I
that
didn't
guy.
quit for you, you don't quit for me. If you can handle it, but if you're a buffoon drunk, I can just walk away.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. So I will not be a buffoon. I'm not that. But the cool thing is, this is Chips for Kids. It's going to benefit the renowned Children's Hospital and the Children's Miracle Network. Poker. I have never, ever, ever, ever in my whole life played in a poker tournament.
Oh, really?
Is that crazy?
Oh, really?
It's at the National Automobile Museum, November 3rd. It's a $100 entry.
Those guys used to do so much.
I know, but I'm going to do it. I'm gonna play poker. So I'm really.
What kind of poker is it?
I don't know.
There's a lot of different poker games.
I want to say because I was talking to them last night when I went to see how I can help them and coordinate and donate. I was saying, well, I can play video poker. He goes, well, you'll be okay. And it's okay. It's for charity.
You find out, and we'll do a house game before, so you're prepared.
So I'm really excited.
Kidding.
No, I would love to
I'll
do
make
that.
hors d'oeuvres. You drink wine. Get drunk and be somebody.
So when you talked about that, it was perfect timing because normally I don't usually shout out right away to this. But yes, I'm totally involved in the community, as you know, and so are you.
Right. And so, the reason that I brought that up is just for me, because I know we're going to talk about recovery and we're going to talk about different things. But for me, my whole path, new journey, I should say, or new chapter, or whatever you want to call it, revolved around community work, and still to this day does. And we're going into the third year of Reno Recipes, and the accolades that have happened in that time, and what we've done for the community. I think we're over 3,000 meals in for family, over 80 full Christmases. I think about 50-ish Thanksgivings. But then through donations and through some of the stuff that I've been able to do, I'm kind of like the poor man's philanthropist, right? I'm never writing the $20,000 check, but I'm making those connections.
No, I'm the connector like you. I totally do that.
So I think we're at about $215,000 that we've raised for local nonprofits.
Well, okay, cheers to that. And then I'm going to give a shout out to, you were supposed to ask me, what am I wearing? Weren't you?
I was checking out your shoes earlier.
I know.
I like them. They match your pants.
They kind of remind me of Batman.
You're kind of round today.
But that's thanks to labels. So labels, Blythe. My pants are Rachel Zock. I have black faux leather pants. I've never had leather pants. They're faux.
What is black faux?
It means they're not really leather.
Oh, so we're not calling it faux.
Oh, maybe it's faux. I probably said it wrong.
What people call faux faux.
Oh, is it faux?
That's food thing.
Which is it? Is it faux or
it's
faux?
It's faux.
Whew, got that one right. And I have Melissa Boot. My sweater is a sub-dry cashmere and sterling Boulogne earrings. So I'm very, very excited. And we need to wrap it up. So I'm going to show you the back of my hair. Caliber Hair and Makeup. So salon, here we go. Take a peek. What do you think?
I think that it looks awesome.
Isn't it cool?
But I think we're a couple of nerds because I have a hair sponsor as well.
Yeah, who does? Oh, well, yeah. You do? I think it's great. I have Caliber.
I do. Siren Salon does mine.
Okay,
Katie
anyway, I know it's time to wrap up. I have this going on. When we come back, we're going to dig a little bit deep
Hopefully
into
there'll be another test.
Oh, there'll be another test. So I am going to do our quote. Here we go. Then we're taking a break. So here we go. Recovery is not a one-time event. It's a journey of resilience, self-discovery, and the unwavering belief that in the power of transformation. Ronald McDonald House will be up next on our commercial, but I just thought that you are in recovery and you're showing us all, and I know we talked about charity, so I'm really excited we're going to have a commercial for Ronald McDonald House. They're having an event coming up, so I wanted to get all that in at once. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. It's About Town Deb and Jonathan.
I'm Ricky Powers, CEO of Ronald McDonald House Charities Northern Nevada. While many of you know our flagship program, The House, a 13-bedroom facility that provides a home away from home for families whose children are receiving medical care inside Reno Sparks area, we also have 3 other programs. The Family Room inside of renowned Children's Hospital, which provides respite to all families who have children admitted into the hospital. Our Care Mobile, which is operated by Community Health Alliance that travels all through Washoe County, enabling families to get nutritional and dental services, and our Travel for Treatment program, which provides families who are either traveling to Reno Sparks or outside of Reno Sparks to receive medical treatment, gas and food gift cards.
To have this program help us with gas to get over to Shriners Hospital, I mean, it has helped us so much because it's not in the budget. The gas is just not there.
We never want a financial burden to be part of a decision making when it comes to their child's health care. They should be making the best medical decisions for their children despite the circumstances.
Thank you, Ronald McDonald House.
Welcome back. It's About Town Deb, Debbie McCarthy with City Talk. I'm at Dream Pilot Films in Sparks, Nevada. So happy to be here once again. And even happier because Jonathan Chapin is here next to me. And I've known Jonathan, he has a card now. He feels much better. Here he goes. He's doing his thing. But the cool thing about Jonathan, we talked about community involvement, and that's so important to both of us.
Right.
And I know that before you were into community involvement, you had your journey.
Right.
Is a really tough one. I've listened to some of your interviews, and I was like stopped in my tracks. I sat there and I'm listening, going, oh. And I had to like take some breaths, and I closed my eyes, and I could almost picture what you must have gone through. And I'm just being serious. I know there's so many other young adults, young children at ages, what was it, 9? What? There was an early age, and I'll get to,
yeah.
Was it 9?
My first drink was at 9. I was a daily drinker by 11, and I was a daily drug user by 12.
So when
I had 6 sets of parents by the time I was 16. So, and I lived in group homes, and the adults in my life touched me the wrong way. It didn't matter speaking, and and there was no structure there, and the only escape that I really had was to get out of myself, because when you're kind of brought up to hate yourself, you believe it.
Well, a lot of people know a little bit about my story. I'm just going to say a tad. Grandma B, love you. She had to make a really tough decision to give me up at an early age so that I would be in a home, because she was young and just couldn't take care of me, but she made sure that she found a home. So I was one of the lucky ones that I was able to be with Terry and Tony, my Nana and Papa. And I always look back and I think, what if? I would not be sitting here today.
Right.
I'm so grateful that, and I want you to share a little bit about that struggle. I know that there are many young adults, teenagers, people of all ages who are struggling, and we don't know that. We look at them, and I think sometimes we look right through them.
Right.
I mean, who was the first one that looked at you in your eyes and said, I got you? I'm sure it took many years, but is there somebody in your life where you realized that moment, I'm going to be okay?
It wasn't until, the family that's my family now, the foster family, they took me in at 16 and a half, but there was a struggle to get there. And, the state wasn't cooperating to make the transition happen. And I did feel like there was hope, and then it wouldn't happen. And then I was in a group home, and I got into twice my stories, my chapters that began with suicide attempts, and I did a suicide pact with a guy in the group home, and we went and stole a bunch of blackberry brandy and a bunch of sleeping pills. And what happens is you don't just fall over, you start tripping, and we were found on the side of the road and then brought back. And I was, I think, 15 years old, and I woke up with leather straps on my hands and tubes down my nose, and and my first thought wasn't like, whew. My first thought was, I can't even kill myself, right? And so it went from that. They cut the red tape, and there was a guy in my corner, and then they became my parents. But it took a while, like everything in life. It took a while, and we're hard learners. And what's great about today and why I'm able to do the stuff in the community is I found the peace that you find when you stop trying to change your past, or you stop being ashamed about your past. And today I do my very best. I wake up with intent. I wake up in gratitude. I wake up knowing that I've got a path today to do something, and I'm not worried about what happened to me in my past, and I'm not tripping on everything in the future. I'm like, if I'm where my feet are, I'm going to make some good decisions, right? And and I'm able to actually feel that gratitude and do those things. So,
was that the moment then? Was that the moment?
The
you
moment
think where you were like, I got to do something.
The moment was when I got to their home, but there was still issues there. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, like, I look at my daughter and she's 14 and she's never had a drink, right? And I'm like, my freshman year, like I was on tour with Guns N' Roses, really. I mean, like there wasn't anything that I wasn't doing by that point. And it's a weird thing to look back and see. And though it was a different time back then, I think back then it was like, oh, the kids can drink at our house as long as nobody drives, and we could, where I don't think as much as that's going on today. But it really, it comes down to self-esteem. And I didn't get sober until 2001. So, I kept partying, and I went to jail a lot of times, and there was a lot of drug involvement, and somehow I got to piece together a lot of things, though. Like, I started cooking because that was the one job you could have tattoos, because I was getting tattooed way before tattoos were, where they were still dangerous. And you could be tattooed, you could be in bands, and you always had a picture of Jack and Coke on the line, and there was a bong in the walk-in and a Coke mirror in the meat drawer. I mean, that's just real talk. So that was, and I just ended up being good at it. Right?
Well, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Because you're definitely sharing your talents with everybody right now.
Right. So, when I did get sober for the first time, I had 14 years sobriety. Like,
congrats. I'm very excited and proud of you. And,
right.
And you're showing us all.
The relapse was really when it happened. And I went from.
Was that after 14 years?
Yeah.
Oh.
I had 14 years, and then I relapsed for 4, and in that 4 years, I lost everything. And I had owned a music venue, a production company, and I took a 20-year break from cooking. And then, again, it was a suicide attempt. My daughter saw me get a DUI and go to jail. And what happened was I just literally started making these deals with myself. Like, if you could not drink until 12 o'clock, and I couldn't do it. I had to drink at 9. And I finally know anything. I just got in my car, and I got up to 85 miles an hour. I took off the seatbelt and ran into a tree, trying to die. Totaled the car, and I walked away from it because I was wasted.
Yeah.
And so then I went to jail, and COVID hit, and so I got stuck in jail for 2 months because all the courts broke down. You usually get a DUI, and they let you go the next day, and literally after that, it was one of those things where I got out, I was still suicidal, and then I made a deal with the universe, and I said, hey, if I can have my life back, and I asked for that spiritual guidance. And what happened was I didn't have any money, but I was on food stamps. I was like, I don't have money, but I can cook for you. And there was families that needed it because they're on third or fourth pay period without money, and so I just started cooking for families during COVID.
I met you right after that.
Yeah, and that's
when
how
I
the whole
met
journey
you.
started.
I was there on that journey.
Yeah, it's just awesome.
It was incredible to see you.
Yeah,
and you
see
were
what's happened in 3 years.
But you were so I don't want to say raw. You were so raw, and you were so honest with your story. I remember you saying, hey guys, I don't have much, but if you need food, come on by and drive by. And I just thought, wow, how amazing that it was. More than amazing. It was incredible that your honesty is so important. And we want you to know, you're listening out there, this wasn't easy, as you could tell by his story. And this was not even, if you could hear, you definitely need to follow him on Facebook. Give a shout out where they can follow you.
Reno Recipes or Jonathan Chapin.
Because seriously,
on Instagram, same thing.
I really want you to find that video, because I feel like if you're struggling or know somebody who's struggling, Jonathan's words are going to touch you to your core, and you're going to go, yeah, I need this man in my life. So we're going to take a break before I start crying, and we're going to perk things up in a little bit. It's About Town Deb and Jonathan with City Talk. We'll be right back.
Join the circle of life at the Lion King. Experience the world's #1 musical. Don't miss your chance to see The Lion King, one of the most awe-inspiring productions ever brought to life on stage.
Coming to Grand Theater at Grand Sierra Resort November 9th through 19th. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com.
Welcome back. It's Debbie McCarthy of About Town Deb with City Talk, Dream Pilot Films in Sparks, Nevada. I am just gonna turn around over here. You know, Mojo, Kelly Mojo, Nello Olivo. He has a new product, Kelly Mojo, and I figured that you had to get your mojo on, and you found your mojo would be inspiration, dedication, faith. What other words would describe your mojo?
Perseverance.
Perseverance.
Gratitude. Community. And hope. Like I really believe in it.
I was just gonna say. Give hope.
I don't think that there's any bigger gift that you can give somebody than some hope. You know, I've seen people's lives turn around and mine, like one person to believe in you and 1 ounce of hope, and somebody that's willing to do some footwork, become a living miracle. And it's a crazy thing, but the footwork's there. And while we were talking on break, in the beginning of this, I didn't know the direction. I didn't know if I was going back to music. I didn't know if I was going to cooking, but there were people in the community that saw in me what I couldn't see in myself. And it comes back to that old saying, show me who your friends are and I'll tell you where you'll be in 5 years, right?
Ooh, I like that.
Right. And so, it was people believing in me and people going, hey man, we're leveling up. We're not going down. Like, you need to be this. And until I could do it on myself. And I think that people need that, whether it's in addiction or depression or just life struggles. Like, you've got to surround yourself with people that are going to be like, no, man, we're going up. Like, we're not having pity parties over here, and we'll believe in you until you can believe in yourself. And, and then you get to give that gift. And that really comes down to that. And, hokey as it sounds, that's a reality in my life. Like, that is a huge reality. Like, we are helping people level up. We are helping people get on their feet. And I never like to say a person in need. I always like to say a person that hopefully will be able to pay it forward, because that's the thing. It's kind of like that weird thing with Madonna. I want to apologize for everyone that I called beautiful before I called smart. Whatever, man. Like, sometimes people just need to hear good things about themselves, and sometimes you got to drill that in somebody's head. And, certainly there's people that are toxic that are like, hey man, I love you, but I got to be over here loving you. And I put it down, and I know we're going to go over on time, but so I just wanted, when I do a lot of public speaking, one thing that I like to say is I used to think that I had to hug everybody in the hallway, and whether they wanted me to hug them or not. And today, most people get low fives, only a few people get hugs. And if there's somebody that's coming down that I don't like, that I want, it's my job to get out of the way. It's my responsibility. You know why? Because you want to be happy or you want to be right.
No,
and choosing happy is a big sign of ego deflation. Like, I don't need to have those fights. I don't need to have those things, and I don't need to hug everybody in the hallway. Some people, and some people get low fives, like, work on it. But you know what I'm saying?
I get a high five?
Like it's just,
putting pressure on you.
But I mean, that's really how it is. And like, I think a big part of when I was relapsed, I just was not, I didn't like myself, so I didn't want anybody else to like me either. And that's just, people get in those modes, and it's just such a dangerous place. You're dancing around the pool with depression and addiction and self-loathing and bad behavior and isolating, and what a rough spot to be in.
If you can say something to a young person out there who's struggling right now, and who maybe be feeling like I shared on break, most of my life I've stuttered, even to the last few years, and look at me now. But it's the people that surrounded me. It's Brandon with Dream Pilot, Brandon said to me, I said, I don't know, like there's cameras. This is so different than what I was doing. And he said, I got you. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Like, what's the worst? I got you. And I feel like I love when you, like, we need to get each other. We need to be aware that you don't like say I've been told before, you don't have to love everybody. You know, you have to pick and choose sometimes, because I think the negative energy, sometimes we do it we choose to feel negative.
Yeah.
Because we're doing it to ourselves.
We're manifesting to ourselves instead of manifesting goodness.
Georgia tells me all the time, let it go. Let it go.
She's right.
You do not have to be friends with everybody. You don't have to like everything. You're not perfect. I mean, I'm just like, I've had to overcome a lot of struggles, and like say stuttering was one of them. And I could stutter 2 minutes from now. And if I do, then it's okay.
Yeah.
But I've learned to accept that. And I want other people to know that we can all have hope.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I think that when you're a public figure, sometimes people want to take everything at face value, and and you want to live that role. And I just kind of never went on that path. I'm like, the last thing I ever want to be is perfect. The last thing I ever want to do is stop making mistakes, because then I'll quit learning. And you know what? We're human. Everybody that's watching this, everybody that's helping this on Brandon and his crew, everybody here, we're human, and it's okay to make mistakes. We just fix them. But I think the hard part for a lot of people is make a mistake and then you just sit there and dwell in it, and it's like, man, I don't got time for that anymore.
Well, you are too busy. We're going to transition into Colo with your cooking show there. I got to watch you grow. Like I said, I was there in the beginning when you were having your cooking show out in your kitchen. George and I were in your kitchen and cooking on your stove. It was so incredible. And to see the support you had around you then. And now, how did it happen? Like, did Katie approach you? Katie, I love you, just so you know. I'm so happy that you're sitting by me today, just so you know.
Yeah.
So how did that happen?
I had called them because we do a big Christmas show every year. And I called Colo and said, hey, can you send a camera crew down here? And they said, well, we can't. However, we have this new thing that we're going to do. And Katie came down and met me, and she did some, because my story had ended up on national.
Right.
And she was like, oh, this is great. And we hit it off. Like, we were fast friends right there. And she's like, I need a cooking segment for a show. Do you want to do it? And she hadn't even been on she was working at Colo, but her show hadn't started yet.
Right.
And I think this December we're going to be at about 100 episodes. So, I'm very, very fortunate, and we've worked hard to do it, but we're the most watched 10 minutes of local morning television every single week.
I agree.
We've seen the numbers. It's amazing.
It's incredible.
So crazy.
Your chemistry together, and Katie, I just love Katie.
Yeah.
Katie, I love you. Her compassion, when she moved to town, she just jumped right in. She believes in our community. Yeah. And I tell her too, like, Katie, you are it's like you've lived here forever.
Yeah.
And she finds joy in everything, like what you do. You find joy, but to see you both on set together,
I think a lot of people don't even watch for the food. They're just
watch for you too.
Yeah, we just want to see you guys be ridiculous.
But anyway.
Like when she ate the whole artichoke.
Well, I didn't know that she, on one of your episodes, she didn't know what something was. It wasn't, I can't remember.
Yesterday she didn't know what polenta was.
That's it. I love polenta. I was so jealous. I'm like, she has no idea. I will eat your polenta all day. No, I was like, what? Yeah. So I thought that was funny. She's like, I had to look it up.
It's funny. And I've got to meet her family and stuff. They, they're so happy because I get her to eat vegetables. But, her little brother's been on Colo Cooks as well.
So cute.
And, it's been a super, and Josie goes to when she has days off of school, she goes, and my daughter and watches. And it's been a cool thing. And, and then from there it was, okay, we got a call from Food Network. And this train's going, and it's filled with gratitude, and it's filled with people like, hey man, if you're on the journey with me, like let's do this, and let's get rad.
Oh my gosh. I know it's going to be break time in just a few minutes. So I'm going to do a quote because I missed one of the quotes before. So let's find one. Okay, here we go. Overcoming obstacles at a young age is like planting seeds of strength that will grow into a lifetime of resilience. And I feel like Nana and Papa, thanks to Grandma B, who found this amazing family, they planted lots of seeds, but at the same time, I was still with my mom. So they actually took care of all of us. And it's just, and I'm talking more about her now because I'm going to be going to see her, and she's having a little bit of health issues right now. But I love the idea that she was there to bring me into this world.
Right.
And watched me grow up and was a part of my life the whole time. And now I'm where I'm at now with what I'm doing, that I can film 2 shows, that I could go to LA and I could spend time with her.
Right.
And I just love you, Grandma
Right.
B. I'm going to take a break.
Able to be present.
We'll be right back. It's About Town, Deb and Jonathan.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
The timeless story you know and love is now Broadway's #1 holiday hit musical, Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the musical. Catch the Grinch in this heartwarming holiday classic, perfect for the entire family. 100 times better than any bedtime story. Cheers the New York Times. November 21st through 26th, Pioneer Center. On sale at pioneercenter.com or the Pioneer Center box office. Catch the Grinch live for the holidays.
Welcome back. It's About Town Deb, Debbie McCarthy with City Talk, Dream Pilot Films, Jonathan Chapin. You're my first one-on-one on this set. I'm so happy.
It's cool. And, you know, it was great to walk through the door and see Brandon and his crew. I knew Brandon when he was in bands before Dream Pilot, and then he used to play at my old venue. And then to see like what he's done, it's just so cool.
Isn't it cool?
You know, see him thrive. So big shout out to Dream Pilot.
I'm going to tell you a little secret. I always tell secrets, and then they're not secrets. I was really nervous thinking that Jonathan Chapin was going to be on my show. Even though I knew him before, I've watched you grow, both in the community, in the culinary world, you know, taking levels and levels. And the best part of what I love of your story is you're giving back, and you do a lot with, you do a lot with Grant Denton as well.
Karma Box, yes.
The Karma Box. And I want you to talk a little bit
shelters.
about what you do in the community. I don't want to forget that, because yes,
Right.
you're an amazing chef, but you're taking your talents even further. So tell us about how
Right.
you
Well,
give back.
To premise it, what happened was when I was starting this whole chapter, there was, you know, somebody that was really waiting for me to fail and badmouth me, and he's like, "You think you can just cook food and change people's lives?" And I'm like, "I do. I take that challenge." And you know, and if you really think about it, cooking food is the oldest
Brings
way
people together.
of community. It really is. You know, so when we do the cooking shows, when we do the public events, when we go and do guest chef stuff, we are creating community. And I always like to bring in people that don't know each other when we're doing film, so that people end up leaving as friends and breaking bread, right?
That's so cool.
Which is great. And you know, geez, it's kind of like, who am I not working with in the community? Like, we're working with Urban Roots. We're working with Step One. We're working with Ridge House. We're working with Eddie House. We're working with Step Two. We're working with Make a Wish. We're working with. We're kind of working with anybody that kind of needs.
You kind of sound like a male version of me sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many organizations out there, and I love that you are also supporting some smaller ones.
Right.
that don't get a lot of the love, like the Ridge House. I mean, way back when I was doing stuff with the Ridge House, but no, Ridge, how am I saying it? A lot of people didn't even know about them.
Right.
So I love the fact that you're
and John
bringing,
Firestone's a good dude.
but you're bringing light and awareness to some of the darkness. You know,
Right.
if you think about that,
Well,
you're shining a positive light to say, how can we shine a light so we can help you?
Well, I was very, very fortunate that Meredith Tanzer
love
over
her.
at Host. Yeah, I
We
love
love you, Meredith.
she's mentored me through this whole thing.
That's one of my questions. That's, okay.
And so she's really been there and been like, hey, if you're going to work with this is what to expect. Because oddly enough, there's people in the nonprofit world that are like, oh, well, if you work with that nonprofit, then don't work with that. I'm like, I am never following that rule. Like if people need help, it's not about the board. It's about the people that need the help. So she's been very good at that. And, Grant's been very good at mentoring me. I got asked to do TED Talks and he was doing TED Talks. And I actually told them no, because I was like, one, I just do better off the cuff.
I was asked to do a TED Talk and I said, I cannot read from a script and memorize.
Yeah,
I have to be like,
it's too much.
If we could do that, I could do it. If we could get up there and just be us, I can do it in a second.
Absolutely. And then it was also.
I wish you would though.
They're like why? And I'm just like, my story's not done yet.
It isn't done.
Right. So, will I ever do a TED Talk? I'm probably not because I don't know. You never know. I don't know. I don't know if the story's gonna go.
But your story never needs to be done to do a TED Talk. Your story right now affects so many people. Like what you've gone through now is so important in where you are.
Right.
So even this little tidbit of where you are now, people are going to go, wow.
Right.
Look at you. Like I could be that.
Well, one of the other things we like to do is I'm big on you don't get to keep it unless you give it away. So. We mentor some kids. I just joined the ACF to help with the.
What is the ACF?
The American Culinary Foundation.
Okay, a lot of people.
And High Sierra Chefs in general. Jay Rathman's the president with that. But they do a lot and get the kids into the competitions nationally. And I believe that Reno got second this year.
That's so cool.
McQueen. So I do mentorship with some kids. There's the Innovation School.
Yeah.
I've got a kid over there that's doing stuff with me every Wednesday to learn stuff. And it's not like to say that I'm doing all this stuff. You just fit it in your day. There's days with me. Like I'm going to give myself a plug now. Book your holiday party.
There you go. There it is. No,
There you go.
You beat me to it.
But it's finding that balance. You know what I mean?
So that was one of my...
Because I have another guy that mentors me, and somebody was like, hey, I'd like to do something. I forget the exact, but they wanted to do something, and I was like, oh, no, I'll do it. And he looked at me, he's like, why don't you just say thank you? You don't get to be the guy that's giving all the time. Knock it off. And and it was a fork in the road moment for me, because it was like, you're right, man. Like, I need to be able to receive as well as give. And, and I got wrapped up in that. And, where that would have headed would have been an ego issue. And, I got to keep that deflated or else I'm kind of no good to anybody.
No, I totally. How do you balance? How do you balance your life with, you have so much going on. What do you do when it's just Jonathan and it's quiet and you're not thinking about cooking or helping? Do you ever just what do you do when you just are doing nothing? Are you reading? Are you napping?
I do read, and I never nap. I do too. And I oddly enough, I go to concerts.
Okay. What's your favorite kind of music?
Punk.
Punk. Oh.
Yeah.
Do you are you like?
Well, it's really funny because I used to own a music venue, and now I cater the festivals. For the main stage bands. So now I'm cooking for all these bands that I used to book.
I love it. So catering, you are a personal chef. I mean, how cool is that to have you come to your home and do a holiday party or a birthday party or a celebration or just a fun old barbecue in the summer?
Oh, yeah.
So what is Like, have you had an experience that your memory was, oh my God, that was so funny, or you did something so crazy at somebody's house, or you made something that really stands out?
We were talking about it earlier when we it was the 60th birthday, and the guy had half the Eagles playing in his backyard, like crazy. I've got one coming up for a 50th birthday party, and we're going. She has the Spasmatics that are going to be playing, and we're going to do Cabbage Patch Kids and cassettes and Discman, and we're going to do those big boards I do. It's going to be fully 80s themed. We're going to have pop rocks. We're going to have all the things.
So I think you kind of started the craze in our community. Your charcuterie boards, they shouldn't be called charcuterie boards. They're like a whole room. It's incredible.
We do about 30 feet of that.
Right, but I think that's something that you've created.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody else do that,
Yeah.
and they're so overwhelming and they're so beautiful. And you have to go on his website too, because you look at, and it's not just charcuterie. I was talking to a friend who wanted to know more about you, so I sent her your link, and I said, look at this. We got scallops, we've got this, we got charcuterie. She's like, wow. I go, he does it all. So really, guys, and is there a small amount? I mean, can you cater to like 12 people?
Well, tonight when I get out of here, I'm going to go do a 6-person dinner.
Okay, and that tell us about that real quick, because was this for a charity auction?
It was. I forget the foundation, but one thing that we do to help raise money is I never donate for raffles, but I do donate for when somebody's doing a live auction or a silent auction. We start at a certain point, and if I can be there live, I'll throw in 2 or 3.
Yeah, I've seen you do that.
So I think Cordillera, and we're with one of the winners of them on Sunday.
I was there that night.
Yeah, I think we bumped it from 4,500 to about 15,000.
Okay, well,
just by doing that.
Well, that is a good point to take our final break. I am going to do another quote. That's kind of what I do on my show. Great chefs don't just create meals. They create unforgettable experience, one dish at a time. Ha! I didn't plan this. We'll be right back for our final break. It's About Town Deb and Jonathan. Welcome back to the final segment of City Talk. I'm About Town Deb, Debbie McCarthy, Dream Pilot Films, Sparks, Nevada, Jonathan Chapin. I wish we had 10 more segments.
I know, right?
I'm so. Can we just play our cards together? I'm so excited to have you here, and we've covered some a little bit serious topics, and the holidays are coming. And I had mentioned that really I was going to focus more on holiday food and festivals and blah 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 blah. Then I looked at his interview that he had done, and I looked at it 3 or 4 times, and I was, like, you know what? We all like a party. We all like all that. Yeah. But seriously, food brings us together.
The food brings us together. However, with us, it's super important that we hit all the areas, right?
I wanted to hit everything.
Sight and sense and taste, of course. But how we present it, like, you can look at somebody's food and be like, oh, that guy's super serious. You can look at somebody's food and be like, that guy's super fun. Or
you open my fridge and say, she doesn't know how to cook.
We were talking about the charcuteries, right?
Yeah.
And so we have these centerpieces that
are stunning.
That match. So when people walk in the room, they're like, oh, that's that kind of party. This is what we're doing. But we really like to portray our personalities through the way that we present the food and the ingredients that we use, and we are very, very all about interaction with the kitchen. Like, we're not the chefs that are in back that are like, oh, get out of our kitchen. We're like, hey, what's up? Come here, try this.
Yeah.
Like, well, no, you want to try my knife? Like,
I got to try your knife. I was a little scared, but I did it.
So the way that we cook and the way that we present ourselves and the way that we have pride in our work is it's the mainstay for how we work in the community and how we do it. Like, it's it's an all-in-one package that kind of centers or orbits around, the way that we're doing food. And my staff is always the land of misfit toys. Like it is. Like we bring people on that are in between jobs. We bring people on that that are maybe having some depression problems, and we talk while we're prepping. And some people are just like, hey, I need to learn some more. So it's always rotating, but it's always like somebody leaves with an experience that not only do I feel helped, but I feel inspired to go and do the next thing that I'm going to do. And it's so important. And, it comes back to what I was saying, that one guy that said that I couldn't make a difference with food, and I can.
You are. You can, and you are. And I've been told a few times, you will not succeed, and you can't, and you can't, and you can't. And I'm like, I will, and I shall, and I am.
Yeah, so it's not a spite thing. It's hey, man,
I totally get that.
Yeah, and I when I go and I speak to the kids and I go and talk to the colleges and whatnot, I'm like, find your niche and then become well-rounded. Like I could do a fine dining all day long, but my niche is fun, really outrageous, boisterous food that tastes really good. And then I go and do fine dining. I go and volunteer. Coming up, I'm going to volunteer to go do the wine dinner with David Holman over at Atlantis. Just because I want to learn more things. Yeah. You know what I mean?
We all learn from each other.
And we have this group of chefs in Reno that are just absolutely fantastic. We do wellness
Can you give them, I know can we give them shout outs? Because can you please, at least a few of them?
Yeah. Jay Rathman, Chef.
Yes.
Chef Travi, Nicole over at Homage, Chris Cal at Rogue, Maya Ray, geez, God, the list goes on.
David?
Kevin Ashton, who we hope is doing a little bit better.
Yes.
We love
you, Kevin.
Tim Masivan, who's doing that Shane over at Big Blue Q. There's just so many. Christy Thompson, who just got rid of her food truck, but will be doing some Christmas stuff with us. The list kind of goes on and on. Sean over at the thing, Mark Esty.
Yes. Colin Smith,
his new chef. Yeah.
There's so many.
And the thing is like we'll do wellness checks on each other. And then we'll get together for lunches. And on paper we're competition, but we don't look at it that way. We're like, you're staying in your lane. You're doing a good job. Lift up. Do you need help this weekend? Do you need help this weekend? And we come together. And Reno's always been about that competition, or we don't like them because they do. And when I started Reno Recipes, I was like, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Like we are going to support each other, and we're going to learn from each other. So
awesome. Well, I've learned. I continuously learn from you, Kevin. Chef Kevin. I just got to say, we love you. We're praying for you. You're going to rock it. I love watching his segments.
He's so good.
Because I feel like I can learn because I don't have a lot in my refrigerator.
He's the biggest TikTok guy in Reno.
I know. He's amazing.
And YouTuber. He's the
biggest. Love him.
The biggest in Reno.
I love him. I think I need you both on the show.
If you ever go and look at his egg segment, it's like 100,000.
It's amazing.
It's like 100,000 comments like, I like hot sauce on my eggs. I like cheese on my eggs. And he's like,
I love him anyway. But I love all you out there, you know that. But without all these amazing people like Surratt Law, Design on Edge, Dream Pilot Films, we got Caliber, we have Soak. Maybe you should go get a pedicure with me.
I'm not against that.
Do a soak. That would be a fun one.
Yeah.
Dorinda's Chocolate, of course. They do a lot with me. Dorinda's Chocolate, Kimmy Candy. Now, pretty soon.
I need to get in on that chocolate.
Yeah, pretty soon.
That coffee is good.
Seriously, we might be having exclusively their coffee on set, hopefully one day. Labels and Digiprint, thank goodness. Oh, Kelly Mojo, Nello Olivo, and we've got my own About Town Deb wine back there. And we donate a portion of every bottle to Northern Nevada Children's Cancer Foundation. Just so blessed and so grateful that we live in the community we live in. And I know you guys find that community out there, get involved. Because if you don't get involved and you don't take that step to learn who your neighbor is, I mean, it starts with your neighbor.
And literally, and we've done this and it's worked. You got a problem with addiction, somebody, give me a call. And I'll help you or I'll send you to some people that can help you out. And also, if you want to volunteer and you want to help out, we can help you get involved there too.
Well, I love that. I would love to volunteer. I'm not a very good cook, but I love to chop. I'm a good chopper, and I can stir really good, and I can taste. I can sample.
Yeah,
so I'm
great
really grateful for all of you. And as usual, I want to give myself a little plug. We're always looking for advertisers and sponsors so that we can keep the show going, so we can bring us all together as together we are one heart, making a difference. And next week I have Tabney Dozner, and we're going to be talking with a pioneer for their next show that's coming up.
Awesome.
And my final quote of the day: no matter where you come from or where you're going, every day is a new chapter, and together we form one heart that beats with hope and possibility. My quote, About Town Deb. See you next week.